Now, everything I've been sharing with you up until now, I've only been doing to get to this point where I could share with you a tool I've developed that really has changed my life, and it's worked incredibly well in businesses and in personal relationships. And I call it a reality check. What's its purpose? Well, remember, we said that all communication upsets come down to either being stressed or creating a meaning inside of our head that's not true, a disempowering meaning, one that makes us upset or judge somebody or feel a sense of loss with them. And it's not true. It's not accurate. And we all do it. So how do you deal with stress? How do you deal when you're upset, when your expectations aren't met? Well, you do it one of two ways probably. Either keep it inside and don't change it. Just keep it inside and suppress it, which eventually all it does is it comes out as you being upset with that person, or it comes out with you making them wrong and laying blame. And if not to them personally, you do it inside your head. And maybe you complain to other people and create a cancer within an organization because you find other people's expectations aren't met. And then you get together in subgroup and destroy everything within a company or within a family. You can't do that. It hurts you and it hurts the people around you. Or the other approach is not to do it internally, but to just unload on somebody. You get upset about something, how dare you do this to me? The fact that you're saying they did something to you shows that you've made up a meaning that probably isn't true. They probably didn't do anything to hurt you. They're probably just trying to get a result and didn't notice the impact or didn't anticipate it. Don't go around saying I'm betrayed by somebody until you talk to them first to find out what are they trying to accomplish. So what is this reality check? It's a tool I've developed to help you to get absolutely clear on what do you really want and need out of a situation. See, if you unload on somebody, you can unload and still not feel good at the end because you haven't been able to communicate your real needs. All you've done is try to get something off your chest, and oftentimes that's not enough. It doesn't work. You still feel empty. In fact, you may even feel bad about unloading and being angry with somebody. So this is a tool, a set of questions that you're going to want to use every single time you go to communicate with somebody an upset you have. These 7 questions of the reality check will be the antidote to your being upset. Because again, most of the time we're upset, it's because of a meaning we've made up that may not be true. And even if it is true, these 7 questions will help you to be able to communicate what do you really need to make things feel good for you. Because again, the purpose of communicating is to feel good. If you want to feel good, you better know what it's going to take to make you feel good. So let's get right into it. Here are the 7 questions of the reality check. Ask them every time you have an upset before you communicate to the person you think you're upset with. Question number 1. Am I willing to learn something valuable from this? And am I willing to do something right now to make this better? The first question you want to do, let's say you're really upset. Somebody does something, you say, that makes me so angry. I'm so upset with this person. First thing you want to do is do a reality check. For you to do anything else, before you communicate your upset to them or suppress it, ask yourself the first question. Am I willing to learn something valuable from this? And am I willing to do something now to make it better? A sub-question of that you might want to ask if you're still upset is, will making this person wrong make them want to help me to make things better? I doubt it. The second question is simply this. What is it that's really upsetting me in this situation? In other words, ask the question, what is the specific meaning that I've linked to this? And a way to get this out of your head is to say the phrase, the meaning I link to this situation is blank. Let me give you an example of how I first came up with these questions to be able to change the way I felt, which is really their purpose, and allow me to communicate my needs more effectively. One night, I was with a group of my partners, and we were working on solutions to helping corporations and individuals to really communicate more effectively. And that's where a lot of this reality bridging technology came out of. And I got on a roll, and my brain started floating out all these ideas and strategies and questions and answers, and I started going like crazy. And they put on these tape recorders, and by the time I was done, 2.5 hours later, we all agreed, boy, we have really got something here. This is invaluable. This will really work. So I turned to one of my assistants in the room, and I said, now what I need you to do is get this transcribed tomorrow morning because I'm going to be in seminar all day. And the following morning, I need to be able to teach this stuff. So I need to have an outline based on all the stuff. And I don't remember it all unless I get to see it again. So I said, whatever it takes, tomorrow morning, you make sure you get this done or you come see me if there's any problem. She said, okay, no problem. Well, the next day I got up and did my seminar. Well, I finished the seminar that night about 7 o'clock at night. I was pretty tired and exhausted. I'd been going for about 3 straight weeks without a break. And I knew how to get up the next morning and crank. And I knew it was all new material. And I was got to assimilate it that night. And I knew I was going to be up pretty late as it was. So I wasn't in the best of states to start with. Well, then I couldn't find this lady who was supposed to give me this material. So I'm looking for her, and I finally went up to one of the other secretaries and some assistants there, and I said, hey, where's this person? I said, I need to get my notes from that dictation I did last night. And they said, well, haven't you heard? I said, heard what? They said, well, it didn't get done. I said, what? They said, well, it didn't get done. I don't know what it was, but, it just didn't work out. I said, didn't work out? I said, I told her no matter what to make sure she communicated to me. And they said, chance to manage your state. And I thought, chance to manage your physiology, right? I was pretty upset. You ever had somebody do that with you? I said, I was managing my state at 3 o'clock in the morning when you guys were sleeping. I said, I need this thing. I can't believe it didn't get done. And I was really upset. But I didn't communicate it. I kept it inside. So I went into a meeting about an hour later, and there was this assistant of mine. Hadn't done the job. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to use what I remember from the night before. And you know what? It didn't work. That's why I changed the technology, because I found out in the most intense situations it didn't work. It didn't work for me, so it's probably not going to work for anybody else. So the benefit of that situation is I found a new way of communicating, and I came up with some of these questions. And the first question was, hey, I'm upset right now, but that's not making it better. Am I willing to learn something right now that's valuable, and am I willing to do something now to make this better? My answer was yes. Will making this person wrong make them want to help me or make me a better person? Answer is obviously no. So I went to my second question. What is it that's really upsetting me in a situation? What's the specific meaning I link to this? So I said, well, the meaning I link to this is this person doesn't care as much as I do. The meaning I link to this is I can't count on them. The meaning I link to this is they made a commitment to me and they broke their word. The meaning I link to this is I'm going to be up all night now. I mean, literally 3 or 4 in the morning because I got to start all over. The meaning I link to this is I've lost all that material I created and I whipped myself into a frenzy. Now, by the way, what I've discovered by teaching this process is that when people are upset, they haven't usually just linked one meaning. They've stacked a bunch of negative meanings to get upset. Think about it for yourself. Has that been true? When you try these questions, I think you're going to find it is. So then I went to question number 3. Could this be a misperception or a misinterpretation on my part? Well, probably not, but anything's possible. Question number 3 also I've added is, do I have all the information possible in order for me to know absolutely exactly what this really means? Obviously, I've designed the question so that you'll say no. And the answer is no. I don't know all the possible information to know exactly what this means. All of a sudden, I'm not feeling so certain about my upset. All of a sudden, I'm starting to say, well, it's possible it's a misperception. I can't be so upset when I'm saying it's possible I'm misperceiving this. 4th question, what else could this mean? Remember, upsets come out of the meaning we create. So what we need to do is say, okay, if it's possible this is a misperception, if it's possible it's a misinterpretation, if I don't have all the information possible, what else could this mean? And you know what? When you answer question 4, it's real important that you come up with some new meanings that are more empowering. Maybe some things you hadn't thought of before. And these will help change your state, change the way you feel, and therefore you'll communicate better to somebody. You won't go out making them wrong. Because we've all had times when we went and said, you did this, and that means this, and found out we were wrong. And then we feel pretty sheepish and pretty silly. So what else could this mean? And, I taught this to a group of people. One of my own ADLs said to me, why don't you make it so the person has to come up with one more positive meaning than they'd made up in negative meanings in question number 2. So I thought that's a good idea. So that's what I did. Well, what else could this mean? Well, it could mean that not that she doesn't care, not that she isn't committed, but maybe what it means is maybe I've overloaded her. Maybe what it means is I've given her way too much to do. Maybe what it means is she really did try to do this and I just don't know something. Something else intervened. Maybe it means that the tape didn't work. Maybe she hired somebody to do it and they didn't do the job and she didn't find out in time. Maybe it really is done and I just don't know it because I haven't talked to her yet. But that's even possible, I guess. Maybe those other girls were wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted what they said. And sure enough, all of a sudden now, guess what? I'm not feeling so upset anymore. I'm feeling a little more uncertain. And being uncertain is a better place to be because it means now when you communicate, you'll try and get some clarification from that person rather than making them wrong. See, it'll work. Question number 5. This is a very important question. What do I need in order to feel good now? Remember, what's the purpose of communication? To feel good. How are you going to feel good? Find out what it's going to take for you to feel good. So my question again, number 5 is, what do I need in order to feel good now? And I've given myself 8 possibilities. 1, do I need to change my perception about this? My brain went, well, probably. 2, do I need to find out more information? Yes. 3, do I need to understand this person's viewpoint, why they did this? Yeah, I need to know why. If I understood why, I probably wouldn't be so upset. 4, do I need to know this person really cares for me? Or just remember that they do? And I thought, well, I know they do. 5, do I need to get a commitment from this person? Yes, I need them to commit that in the future, if I say this, it gets done. 6th, do I need to change the way we're doing something? Yes, in order to feel good now, I need to know that in the future this will work. So we need to change the way we get things done in this process. 7, do I need to apologize for this person? I thought that's an interesting question I never thought of. Maybe I need to apologize for being upset without really knowing what was really going on. Maybe I need to apologize for assuming. Maybe, I tell them, I'm really sorry. I got upset with you and I had no right to because I didn't know all the information. Boy, that's a state changer, isn't it? And the last one I came up with under number 5, the 8th question is, do I need to just remember who this person really is, what an incredible relationship we have, and how much I really love them? And I thought, yeah, I really do love this person. Guess what? I lost all my intensity. Guess what? I'm now in a state where I could communicate more effectively because I know what I really need. What do I need to feel good? I need to change my perception a little bit. I need to find out some more information. I need to understand a little bit of why they did it. I need to know they care about me and just remember that. I need a commitment. We need to change some of the process. Maybe I need to apologize, and maybe I just need to remember who they are, go back to the bridge. Question number 6. How can I communicate my needs in a way that truly empowers my relationship with this person? Now, unfortunately, this is a question not too many people ask in communications, especially when they're upset. And remember, what screws up human communication? When people get stressed, when they get upset. And one of the things that happens is we don't stop to think about how we're communicating. Why are we communicating again? Because we want to feel good. And if we want to feel good long term, we got to make sure other people feel good as well. So the best thing we can do to really meet our needs is find out what are our needs, and then how can we communicate them in a way that truly empowers our relationship? Because we don't want to just feel good in the moment. We want to maintain our relationship and have it expand and grow. So what are your options? Well, if you don't ask this question, your options are to go with what you do automatically. And what you do automatically is either just keep it inside and build up to explode, or maybe what you do is you just unload on people along the way or dump on people. You don't want to do that. That kind of communication won't work for you. And we all do it, and we all make the mistake. But what we want to do is do it a lot less often. And this reality check is exactly what it says. It's a checklist. Just like if I'm going to take off in my helicopter, there's certain things I want to check on each time because it's real important. If you have an important relationship, before you respond, you want to go through these questions. And this one's critical. So when I started asking myself, okay, how could I communicate this to her in a way where I could really empower my relationship? I started to come up with ways of doing it. And I thought, well, if I make her wrong again, obviously that's not going to empower the relationship. If I attack her, that's not going to work. If I ignore it, it's not going to get any better. I got to be sincere. I got to be honest. How could I do this? And I thought, well, years ago when I was first getting to know my wife, Becky, we were trying to figure out how we could communicate because I had a lot of intensity. And sometimes when she'd communicate something to me, I get upset. And finally I taught her, I said, honey, tell you what I want you to do. From now on, if you'll just come to me and say, I need your help, that's like a magic word for me. I would do anything for somebody if they just say, I need your help. But if they say, you're making me mad, that doesn't get me to want to help them. And I said, I think I'm like most people. So I started thinking, okay, if I went to this woman and I said, I need your help, I think that would change the way she responds than if I said, I have to talk to you about something, I'm very upset about it. Or if I said, we need to talk. That doesn't set people up to be able to hear you very well. So I thought that's one good approach. She's really a great lady. She really wants the support. And if I ask for her help, she probably will help me. Secondly, I thought, well, if I tell her how I felt, she may still interpret that as making her wrong. So what I need to do is make it clear that when this situation happened the other day, I misinterpreted something. In other words, I need to give her the benefit of the doubt since I don't know what's really going on. And thirdly, I thought, what am I really doing? I just need to get some clarification. So that's what I should talk to her about. Not that I have to, straighten something out, but I just need to clarify something. Clarifying feels a lot lighter than straightening everything out. So my strategy when I come to answer this question of how can I communicate my needs in a way that truly empowers my relationship is, number one, I take a look at when to communicate it. I want to be intelligent. I want to do it when they're stressed out of their mind and they won't be able to hear me. 2, I don't want to say, we need to talk. I want to come to the person and say, I need your help. The other day, and be real specific, the other day when this situation happened, I misinterpreted that to mean that you really didn't care. And you know what? I know that's not true. Why would you say that? Why would you say, I know that's not true? Because you want to make sure this person understands you appreciate them and you don't ever question their intent. So I said, I know that's not true. And what I just need from you is some clarity as to why this thing didn't get done because, I just don't understand. And she looked at me and she just softened. You could see her shoulders just drop. And I said, last night when we talked and this thing was supposed to get done on the dictation and, my misinterpretation was I made it really clear that it had to be done. And when it didn't happen, I misinterpreted that to mean that, you weren't as committed as I am to get the project done. And, I know that's not true because I know who you are. I know how committed you are. But I just need some clarification because it's a little frustrating me as to what really happened. She said, thank you so much for saying this way because she said, I've really been dreading talking to you about this. She says, I feel really bad. But she said, the truth of the matter is I did go to get it done. And we hired a local firm here to transcribe it, and they didn't get it done because they couldn't understand the tape. They didn't understand some of your terminology, so they just decided not to do it. And I didn't find out till about 4:30 in the afternoon, and you were going on stage at 5, so I thought I probably shouldn't tell you right before you got on stage, or you'd be thinking you're going to be up all night. I was trying to support you. Boy, I felt pretty stupid, pretty sheepish. She said, I know I should have told you. And she said, I should have been there afterwards to tell you. She said, but I got pulled out of the meeting, and these other girls told you, and they told you in a way I feel really bad about. She said, I would do anything to support you. I'll stay up all night if necessary to get this thing done. I said, well, gosh, I really appreciate the clarification, and I'm really sorry I even thought those negative thoughts, and, we do need to do something in the future so this never happens again. She goes, yeah, I know, I should have followed up. I said, nah, I wouldn't have thought of it. And all of a sudden, I'm defending her, And that's the neat thing about communication.